This is K-Rockcast, the podcast where music and perspectives collide.
I'm Anne, a music lover who's the ultimate fan.
And I'm Kelly, a professional musician. Join us as we dive into the world of The Rose and other Korean and Asian rock bands.
Sometimes we'll agree, sometimes we'll wildly disagree, but what's guaranteed is a passionate, hilarious, and unfiltered conversation about the music that unites us and the bands that inspire us. Hi, everybody. We're back with another episode of our K-Rock Recommends. Kelly has two amazing indie artists, and viewers and listeners, we feel like in some of the live streams we've done, we've gotten a lot of requests for more female artists to spotlight. And so we are bringing you one of these artists today that is female fronted. Excited for that. And then the second artist, Kelly, that you're going to talk about, I remember when you recommended him to me. I love his music because it's more R&B pop, which is like totally right up my alley.
Yeah.
And so why don't you kind of kick us off with introducing us to After Midnight first?
Yeah, so After Midnight, here we are, folks. We have not just one lady in this band, we have two. So they started out in Penang in Malaysia in 2022, and they started with their very first single, which was I Miss You. Now, my emo-loving arse fell in love with them the minute I heard them. Honestly, they are great. If you like pop and punk and a fringe full of emo, After Midnight are for you. They really are. They are the soundtrack to your summer. They are that good. So if you take things like Paramore, Avril Lavigne, a little bit of All American Rejects, sometimes a bit of things like Neck Deep and bands like that, you'll get them. They are just this wonderful, happy pop punk sound that is so well done. They're all really talented musicians as well. I must admit, we have had to scramble to find the names of the actual artists in the band. So whether or not these are correct, we'll soon find out. So we have Hafim Halim, who is on backing vocals and the guitar. We have Isaiah Bashid, who's the main vocalist. We have Marura Iowazaki on drums, Akmil Kiseye on guitar, and Rafiq Rakiye on the bass guitar as well. They're fantastic. So this 5-piece are just... Well, let's put it this way. They have managed to bring what is a very, very, very underground scene in Malaysia to life just by being them and doing something that I think some parts of the world kind of thinks is slightly more retro now because, you know, we've left emo and pop punk behind. No, we haven't, folks. It's coming back around. I keep telling you this. You need to listen to me.
I know what I'm on about.
It's coming back around. And obviously it's opened up the Malaysian music scene to the rest of the world. I mean, there are some very good niche bands in Malaysia, but you tend to be sort of more on the heavier side. So there's a lot of really good sort of thrash metal bands over there. So to have something that's like pop forward is fantastic. So they started, as I said, in 2022, and they wrote a song, and it was last year, and this was one of their first singles off of their debut album, and it was called Cheat Her or Cheater, and it just became a TikTok viral sensation. And then obviously the world started to wake up to this sound that they were making. And they followed this up with a debut album, which is Heartbreak Kid. And honestly, if you like Paramore, Avril Lavigne, any of those type of bands and artists, you will love what they do. They will put a smile on your face while singing about some of the worst moments of their life. But yeah, definitely check out After Midnight.
I love it. I feel like when you're saying Paramore, Avril Lavigne, All American Rejects, you're really speaking my language. So let's give them a listen. We've got a great clip.
I love you my whole heart. You don't know how hard I've tried to
All right, that was After Midnight. I think that's a great recommend, Kelly. Also, just kind of reminder, we do have our sister IG account, K Rock Recommends, that Kelly manages. And I know if you go on K Rock Recommends, give it a follow if you haven't already. You will see After Midnight
Yeah.
highlighted there as well. All right, now let's go into our second artist today that you're introducing to the world. We talked about him on a recent IG live stream that you and I were doing because someone asked us what's kind of a new artist that we've been listening to. And I thought of Tom Diva because you had just sent me a reel of his, like not long before that. You were like, Anne, I think you would like this guy's music because I like kind of pop R&B.
You have a pop leaning.
And I have a huge, I wouldn't even say leaning. Like that's being kind.
I know.
The Who Am I though? This song that he has out that he's promoting now, I just like fell in love. So tell us more about this artist.
Right. So this is Tom Diva, which is the best name ever.
Right. I love this name.
Fantastic. So Tom is Melbourne based and he is something a little bit different. So Anne loves him obviously because he creates this sort of pop R&B music, but it's a little bit more than that. So he has this ability to blend very classic songwriting and he puts in this really nice level of funk as well. So there's some really nice guitar work in everything that he does. It's not sort of run-of-the-mill pop. It just has this little extra sheen that sometimes can be missing from that scene. And the nice thing about it is, and that's the worst thing, and I need to use the word nice, because the guy is nice. He is lovely. And he makes music that just makes people feel seen. If you listen to anything, I think you can all sort of take on board what he's saying and everybody can sort of really relate to everything that he's coming out with. He uses his voice to really good effect as well. And it's definitely the improvement in his voice over the years is second to none. And that's the great thing. Not only is his songwriting improved, his actual craft just kept improving as well. And he blends this vulnerability and rawness. And you don't normally get that. It's one of those things where there's this, in R&B, you can get this very sort of softness, this vulnerability, but it falls into this like smooth listening thing. Tom doesn't do that. Tom still has this little bit of a raw edge to what he's doing. And I think that makes it even more approachable as well. And he also has as well this really lovely timbre to his voice. And you can hear it when he's doing some of his trails, especially on Who Am I? Because there's just such a richness and depth to everything that he does.
My name is Tom Diva and I'm an artist that creates pop and R&B music, and I'll be very appreciative if I can have 4 seconds of your time to listen to the song that I co-wrote and produced.
If I got a string for myself just to be with you, it's time to say goodbye. 'Cause if there's no more me inside, there's nothing left of me to sacrifice. Who am I though? Who am I though? When it's not me and it's not you. Who am I though? Who am I though? Nothing left of me to sacrifice.
And of course, with the world of music being the world that it is, and everybody has to be everything when you're a musician, he has actually started gaining attention for his busking performances. He goes out into Melbourne, walks around the street, and he showcases his emotional songwriting and his actual abilities. And some of these interactions have gone viral. And I've sent a couple of these to Anne, and they've been heartbreaking and beautiful and life-affirming and just so joyful to see human interactions that are lovely interactions, and how music can bring people of all backgrounds together. So yeah, Tom's one to check out. So 3 tracks I think you really need to listen to. Obviously the new single which came out this year, which is Who Am I Though? And that's the most recent single, and it explores themes of self-discovery and reclaiming yourself following a difficult relationship. There's a really, I mentioned the guitars earlier on, there's a really gorgeous hint of a flamenco guitar at the beginning of this, and it just leads out with such beautiful vocal ad-libbing. It's a really well-written song, and I can see it doing very, very well, especially if it gets to the right radio stations. Then there's Drowning, which was released as a full orchestrated track, but there's actually an acoustic version. So I would say find the acoustic version, which was released in 2025, and it has the most beautiful guitar melodies in it, and his voice is stunning as well. Genuinely gorgeous track to listen to. And then of course one of his very first releases, which is In the Morning, which came out in 2024, and that highlights this really lovely pop punk funk style that he's got going on as well. But yeah, he's a great artist, and I think we'll hear a lot more about him.
Yeah, I'm excited. I think we're going to be hearing a lot more about both of these artists. So definitely give them a check out on their Spotify channels. We'll have, as always, all of their information. And then another plug on Spotify while you're on there listening to these great artists. Definitely subscribe to our playlist, the K-Rock Cast Loves playlist. We have a season 1 playlist and now a season 2 playlist. Again, this is where we are curating a wonderful playlist of all of the great artists that we continually bring all of you through our K-Rock Recommend segments. All right, thanks so much, Kelly. These are 2 great artists again, and we'll see you in the next episode. Bye-bye.
Bye.